Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to get into another swatch comparison with a bunch of indie palettes and products that came into my life. You guys seem to enjoy these kind of videos, so I have one here for you guys today. But before we get into everything, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree. I'm a crazy lover of all things beauty. I love to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot on indie makeup, so if that is what you're into, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. Alright my loves, this is probably going to be a very long one because there's a lot to go over and I know I can ramble. The swatches take a while, the comparisons take a while, so you're going to be here for a long ride if you plan to watch like the whole video. But of course I'll leave timestamps to like tell you what part of the video includes what product, so in case you're interested in a specific item. But this is the pile we're working with today. It's quite big. I picked up the new Adventure Time collection from Lethal, at least the eyeshadow palette that was in the collection, and like all the blushes and the highlighter. I also got my Adept Cosmetics Emo palette. My pre-order of the Dark Winter palette from Electrum finally came in. I picked up the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth palette from Glamlite, the new Revamped Smokey Glam palette from Beaute Bar. I picked up the Ultraviolet palette from Beaute Bar, the collab with Deandranicole. I caved and got it. I just got their Ocean Jewel palette in the mail, their most recent release. The Green Goddess palette, as well as these two beauties from Gourmande girls. This is the Call of the Siren eyeshadow palette, as well as the blush palette that was in the collection, the Mermaid magic one. And I also got the Glaminatrix Nearly Natural palette. This is a revamp from one that was already existing in their collection, so it's a lot. It's what, like 10 products, something like that. So I know this is going to be a long one. Now before I jump into everything, if you're curious about this eye look, I did film it. I actually have the Lovers palette on my eyes from Cosmic Beauty, so in case you were curious about that, I will also have my makeup linked in the description, which I always do. So if you're ever curious on what's on my face, always check out the description because it should be linked. But that was everything. I think we should now jump into these swatches and comparisons. We are going to get into the palette from Beaute Bar. This is their revamped Smoky Glam palette. They came out with a new version. I will compare it to the original version when we get to the comparison part. But this right here goes for $75. It is pricey, but things are getting pricey nowadays, even more than normal. And here's the packaging. They just scaled it down a bit, added a different decor on the outside, and all that good stuff. This is available on their website as I'm filming this video, and here is what the inside looks like. So in the description it says the Smoky Glam Magnetic 20 pan palette. It has 5 new multi-chrome shimmers. Original palette only had 1, and it has 4 existing dual chrome shimmers that have been improved with increased sparkle and shine from the original palette. And then it has 11 existing curated mattes in our beloved formula. So I don't know, I'm assuming maybe these are also improved mattes, or they might be the same. We shall see how they compare. It says this is a pressed pigment palette for face and eyes, so that's basically an info and all that good stuff. So I mean, we might as well jump into the swatches now. So I'm going to go across this way and do it by rows. I think that makes the most sense. So we're going to start off with Lace, Angel Eyes, and Corset. I'm sad that they left out like the green shades that were from the original out of this one. I'm not sure why they did that, but that's what they chose to do. Here's the first 3 shades. So we have a matte white. Ooh, girl is pigmented. Then we have this very like creamy shimmer that looks like there's like yellow to pink in this one. Ooh, that's pretty. And then this like kind of dusty pinky mauve. So that is the first 3 shades. Then the last 2 is Love Bug and Icon. And here are those two mattes on the finger. So Love Bug is like a reddish, like kind of burgundy. And then this is like a pinky, warm, matte purple. And that is the first row. Now we're getting into the second row. We have Milk Bath, Playful, and Cuddles. And there's those three. Well, that middle one is definitely like some kind of dual chrome. This first one is very intense. So we're switching over to this hand. So here's Milk Bath. It's like a very milky, icy, metallic. There's almost like a pastel pink kind of shift to it. And then there is this like playful shade that has like a peachy shift to it. Peachy pink shift. Ooh, that is pretty. And then there is this kind of cool pinky purple shade. I'm just trying to build that up. For some reason that swatched a little weird. Probably how I'm swatching things. And then the last two shades are shimmers. We have Velvet Crush and Silk Teddy. And there's those. This looks like a holochrome. Ooh, beautiful. Okay, so we have this like magenta that looks like it has like blue sparkle in there. And then we have this like smoky purple that has like holographic shimmers all throughout. And we're going to start off with Pillow Fight, Pink Diamonds, and Whisper. So there's those shades. Ooh, these are some light pinky sparkly shades. So there's that. Ooh, this is so creamy. This one too has like multicolor sparkles all throughout. And then there's this like kind of icy pink. I actually don't think I need to pick up more. I was about to. And then this one is like a pinky kind of mauve. Hopefully my lighting's okay. I kind of set things up a little different. And then the very last shades, we have Hypnotic and Night Dream. And there's those two more like purpley tones, at least for the matte. So there's that. Okay, this one has way more like pigment to the base. Wow, that's super sparkly. And then there's like this deeper kind of slightly black and purple for the last shade. So these ones got some pink shimmers, some more purplish tones coming in. And then the last row is these like grayish tones. So we have Cuffs, Platinum, and Nocturnal. And there's those gray tones. So here's Cuffs. Just a grayish. There's almost kind of like a purpleness to it. Then there is another like pinky shimmer. It has a bunch of like kind of like bluey pink sparkles in there. And then this like cool toned brown that I accidentally got shimmer in. So ignore that, but it's very pigmented. And then the last two shades, we've got Mystery and Smoked Out. And there's those on the finger. And look at that. So we got like a mid-tone gray and then a like deeper kind of charcoal color. Let me build up that gray. And there is the last row. So here are all the beautiful swatches. Look how beautiful these shimmers are. But they are like various versions of pink and magenta and berry tones. We got a good amount of depth. And then grayish tones. I do not know why they scaled out the green tones and kind of made this lean more monochromatic. It kind of reminds me of like a bigger version of their Morally Gray palette, which I will compare it to that. So I'm not sure why they did that, because they kept it a little bit more versatile having those other tones in.
but it's still really beautiful, and I love the upgraded shimmers in it and the pigmented matte. It's still gorgeous though. I mean, I love Bella Beaute Bar's formula, but that was all the gorgeous swatches all together. First things up is the original Smokey Glam and the new Smokey Glam. So as you can see, what I was saying, these like grayish greens have been taken out, and they have switched up some things, like things that are mattes in here are now shimmers in here. So I will show you on my arm here at ease. Maybe I should zoom out a bit. And there they are, how they look. So Smokey Glam is on this side and the original is on this side. So what you see right here, it used to be a matte. It was Platinum Princess, now Platinum is a shimmer. And then same with Silk Teddy. Silk Teddy was a matte in here, and now it's a shimmer in the new one. But that's how they compare. Honestly, I feel like the original Smokey Glam formula is really good. Like, I don't think anything's wrong with the original formula. Maybe the new shimmers are a little bit more sparkly, maybe a little bit more smoother. Some are like super creamy on this side, but they're still stunning and it's still very sparkly. So honestly, I don't think this revamp was really necessary, unless it was more just to scale down the color story. And I think the mattes are just as pigmented and just as good quality on this side as this side. I wanted to show you guys next to the Morally Gray. This is just a mini version of this palette, and I have the comparison on the top here, and you guys see, right? It's basically pinks and grays. So honestly, they also came out with this, so I don't know why they came out with this version of Smokey Glam, because it kind of already had this amongst these two palettes, and this does have like the intense shimmers. By the way, the Morally Gray is on this side. Smokey Glam is on this side. Not everything is exact, but I mean, come on. There's a good amount. You're going to get very similar looks. So if you have this mini palette and you're like, I don't need that much more like options, this is like the little sister of this one and all that. So I wanted to show you guys that. This was their Valentine's Day release. I even compared it to the Natasha Denona Retro palette, which this one has a little bit more of like peachy tones in there, but I have it here. Natasha Denona on this side, Smokey Glam on this side. It's just a little bit more warm, but similar vibes too. Now, of course, the shimmers in here are way more intense. These are more satiny shimmers. And this has a bunch of cream to powder mattes in here, and this does not. And they're warmer, but I just wanted to see how they looked next to each other. So now we're going to get into this one right here from Bella Beaute Bar as well. This is the Ultraviolet palette. This was a collab with Deandranicole, and I had mentioned I was going to pass on this in like a palette to almost purchase, and I ended up getting it. I really wanted it. I love the tones. I love purples. So here we are. But this goes for $65, and it looks like it's still in stock on their website. And I'm thinking this is their last restock. I'm not sure if they're going to be bringing this one back after it sells out. But let me show you guys the beauty that is inside. So yes, a very monochromatic purple color story. I knew that going in. This has 8 shifty and sparkly dual chromes and 7 mattes in their beloved formula. There's a mirror and just various tones of purple, pinkish purples, cooler purples, and I love it. I love it actually seeing it in person now. I didn't need this, but I'm a sucker for a purple palette, so I think we should dump into like the swatches now for this beauty right here. So we have Magical, Serenity, and a Spiritual. And there's that. Oh, this one's a little bit more smooth, like a little thinner. But these are the shades, and there's some kind of blue or some kind of green, some kind of shift to this one. So there's this first one, which is like an iridescent, very creamy shimmer that I think has maybe some pink to it. And then there's this like a lilac kind of pastel matte. And then there's this very smooth shimmer. Yeah, there's some kind of like bluish aqua shift to that one. And then we have Peace and Rarity. Ooh, that one's super creamy. And there's those two. Ooh, look at that. There's some kind of like grayish grungy base to that. So we have Peace, which is a beautiful purple matte, and then a Rarity. Yes, look at that. It's like a charcoal kind of gray base to it. And now on to this second row, we have Exotic, we've got Imagination, and Royalty. And there's those three variations of purple. So Exotic is a very warm pinky purple. That one's swatching a little bit more sheer. Then there is Imagination, a beautiful cool tone purple metallic, very creamy. And then this beautiful purple matte. That one's also swatching a little sheer. Huh, okay. They're more like on the buildable end for those two. And I think this one says Nobility. It's like a cool purple. Ooh, that's a magenta with like a blue shift. That metallic. There's that. Oh, wow. This kind of has like a hot pink base to it. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then this like very cool tone purple. That one too. Is it like my skin that's making things look a little bit more sheer? We'll just have to see when I use them. But they seem like maybe a little bit more buildable. Is it Mystery? Yes. This one's kind of satiny feeling. We have Powerful and Extravagance. So other purple shades. This one has some kind of magenta to it. This is that smoother one. There's sparkle to it, but it kind of feels like satiny. Then there's this other deep purple matte, and then another beautiful saturated purple metallic that has like blue sparkle to it. And then the last two shades, we have Balance and Luxury, which is like a magenta. And there's those two. This one's like a very cool kind of black and purple. Oh, maybe there's even some kind of blue to this. Yeah, they're definitely on the buildable end with these mattes. And then here's that smooth magenta metallic. And there's the last row. Here are the swatches. Love all these purple options. I mean, we didn't necessarily need all of them, but you have a bunch of variations of purple. Warm reddish ones, pinky tones, very cool tone purples. You got that lighter tones and a bunch of different types of purple shimmers. Some with a blue shift, some with pink shifts. You got a little bit of a magenta moment. But overall, it's really pretty. If you like purples and these kind of tones are your go-to. I mean, the formula seems nice. Now, the mattes do feel a little bit more on the buildable end. A little bit more sheer and a little different from what I'm used to with their mattes. But purples can sometimes be a little harder to formulate. But it's still a gorgeous color story and lots of sparkle. So first thing we're going to compare to is this one from NBA Cosmetics. This is the Enchanted Elixir palette. And this is like the perfect mini version of this one. Actually, let me zoom a little closer. And this I feel like makes more sense for a monochromatic palette to be on the smaller side like this, so it's not too repetitive. But I did compare them. On this side is NBA Cosmetics. This is the Beaute Bar side. And you see they have similar versions of like purple and metallics. The one from NBA also has like interesting flaky shimmers, and the mattes definitely feel kind of similar because these mattes feel kind of on the buildable end in the NBA one, but you see how they compare. So I do feel like if you had this one right here, you don't necessarily need this one unless you want Beaute Bar's formula, if you want the additional variations of purple. Another like smaller scale down palette, which is the Gothic palette from Cosmic Beauty. This one too, though this one has some like more burgundy shades, but I do feel like they compare as well. And I have it right here. So this is the Cosmic Beauty side, the Bella Beaute Bar side. And this one you just see has a little bit more burgundy-ish, but some of the purples did have a similar vibe too. And then the last one that I wanted to compare to is the wine palette from Glamlite. And I mean, there's slight differences, but it's very close. And I have them swatched right here. So on this side is Glamlite, on this side is Bella Beaute Bar. And you can see like it has the burgundy shades, the variations of purple. And I still think this palette from Glamlite is still really good, has beautiful shimmers. It's been a purpley monochromatic kind of color story palette that I've had for a long time, that I've kept forever because I still think it's just so good. So that's how they compare. Slight variations with some of the tones, but there was a good amount of matchups with this one too. So now we're going to get into this palette from Glaminatrix, another revamped palette. I guess this is the year of revamping eyeshadow palettes. But this one right here goes for $57 from Glaminatrix. And this one, as they say, is revamped and reimagined. Say hello again to the Nearly Natural palette with a glow up. Bought back this beloved palette with a fresh new look and formula upgrades featuring 21 pigmented shades. Okay, so this is their like more nudie palette kind of with a twist, and I love the original one, so we'll see how they differ. But here is the palette, and it says for this one that there are 9 metallic shimmers for a soft sheen to intense sparkle, 10 smooth blendable mattes and everyday neutrals and grounded tones, and 1 brand new baked eyeshadow formula. Our sparkliest shimmer yet. It's magnetic pans, vegan and cruelty free. So that is the new Nearly Natural palette. I love the original one, so I guess they wanted to put it in their like more improved sparkly formula, but that one I also adore, but I just wanted to see how this would compare. So we will do that once we finish with the swatches. So the first row is all shimmer. So we have Naked Eye, Stripped Back, Unveil. And there's that. They feel like the shimmers in their like recent palettes that have come out. So there's that. It's like kind of an icy shade. Then Stripped Back is like a icy lavender, and then this one is a light pink metallic. Then we have Sultry and Nearly Natural, and there's those shades. Wow, they almost look similar on the finger. So there's that. It is like a, is it like a taupey shade, maybe a champagne, and then this one definitely has more like pink to it, like a rosé color. Now let's get into this all matte row. So we have Pure, Solace, Barely There. So some lighter nudie mattes. So wow, that's nice and pigmented. Very light beige. This one is a very light grayish beige. And then Barely There, which is like a light, warm, milky brown. So you have a lot of light mattes to work with. And then there's Serene and Untouched. And there's those two on the finger. So this one's kind of like a grayish brown. And then this one is a like mauve shade. So that's the second row. So we have Nude, Exposed, and Raw. And there's those right there. So pretty. So Nude is like a warm kind of champagne. Then there is the Exposed, which is like a kind of olive greeny metallic. And then this one, that's like a kind of like warm, maybe like a terracotta metallic shade. And the last two, we have Second Skin and Smolder. Ooh, a metallic charcoal. Oh, that looks gorgeous. And there's those two. So Second Skin, which is like a coppery metallic, and then the Smolder. I think maybe this is the baked formula because that one looks really sparkly and intense, and it's quite pigmented. And then the last row, we have some of the more deeper tones and some light tones. So we have Essence, which is like a warm, grungy, yellowy green, and Down to Earth, and Naturally. So there's those. Some grungy tones, and then this like reddish brown. So there's Essence. Don't mind the sparkle. Oh, it's a beautiful greenish mustard. Oh, it's so pigmented. And then there's this beautiful grungy green and this like reddish deeper shade. And we got the very last two, which is Disrobe and Cinder. And there's those. So we have like a deeper cool tone brown and a matte black. Ooh, okay, I swatched too hard in there. But they're so pigmented. And then look at that matte black. So that is the last row. We got some depth in here. So here are the swatches all together. A beautiful like nudie palette with a twist. You have some grunge, cool tones, browns. I love these grungy mattes right here. Beautiful sparkly shimmers that are very smooth. And the smolder shade is just stunning. It's so sparkly. It's like a galaxy. You have some champagnes, nudie metallics. So I think this is going to be like a very, you know, wearable palette for a lot of people. Wedding season, you know, it's giving those vibes. Date night, if you're into a nudie look. But you want a little interesting little, you know, mattes thrown in. A little bit of grunge. So I do think this is a beautiful color story. But I think we should get into the comparisons now. Here is the new Revamped Nearly Natural, the original. Totally different like shape palette, different packaging on the outside. They made it look even more wedding-esque. And this one has like a different feel to it, like a suede feel almost. But there is the two palettes, very similar. This one has 15 shades, so they extended the shade range. And there's like two shades that they did not replicate. I'm going to cover this with that. And it's like this one called Nothing to See. It's kind of similar to Serene or Simplicity, which kind of looks like Barely There, but there is a Barely There shade. But I compared them to the top right here. And I mean, these shimmers are just as beautiful. Mattes are just as pigmented. The original is on this side. The new is on this side. Honestly, I don't think this needed a revamp. The original formula is so good. I think they pretty much kept the colors the same. I just feel like the sparkles maybe feel a little thinner, like the shimmer formula. It's a little bit more smoother, but honestly, this is so good. I think if you have this one, you don't need the revamp one. If you don't want the additional shades, I don't think it's necessary. I'm going to compare it now to this one because there's a lot of people who said this one was so similar to it too. So I'll kind of try to cover things up here. And they are. This one has a little bit more like grunge, like these orangey tones, but I compared them. And I'll show you guys, like, look at this. Like, let me zoom out a little bit more. So on this side is the Nearly Natural. On this side is the Barely Basic. And yet again, very similar, right? Like, crazy shimmers are just as good. These have, like, these iridescent ones and all that. Not everything exactly the same, but, like, look at these mattes. It's actually insane how much they also match up. So I don't know why they like revamped this and kind of fuse these two together. That's basically how it feels. So if you had these two, you really don't need this. I don't know. I just feel like it's like brands are revamping palettes, but I don't think they really needed it. This was perfect the way it was. So let's get into these Gourmande girl goodies. This is from their like Mermaid, Siren, you know, like sea collection. This is the Mermaid Magic Blush palette that they came out with, and the Call of Sirens eyeshadow palette. These items both look like they're in stock on their website, and they look so pretty. So I'll start off with the blush palette. So here's the packaging. It's slightly different from the eyeshadow palette, different name. This one goes for I believe $45 it is. Yeah, $45. And it is in stock on their website. And let me show you guys the magic inside. There is a mirror, and I believe it's Doodles by the Bunny that designed these palettes as well. And it says, turn your complexion dreams into reality with the Mermaid Magic Face Palette, featuring an assortment of 6 Gourmande Girls blushes and highlighters. Lusciously creamy blushes and high shine highlighters formulated to suit all skin tones and be inclusive for all. So there's not like a breakdown and description of the shades, but at the top is the 3, I believe, highlighter shades, and then 3 blushes, which are in like those trending colors that are so in right now. And then we'll get into the Call of the Sirens palette. So this one right here goes for $55.99, and it looks like it's also in stock on their website. They do offer a bundle with the two for $88. I do have a code, by the way, with Gourmande Girls. It is Breezy Beauty. Saves you, I think, like 10% off. It is affiliated. I don't think you can use it on bundles, but you can use it on individual products. But here is the eyeshadow palette. Look at it. It's a beautiful, gorgeous jewel tone palette. And in the description, it says a treasure box filled jewel tone dream awaits you with our Call of the Siren palette. Whether you want a dark and spell casting or light and whimsical look, fulfill your mermaid fantasies with this magical palette and be whisked out to sea for an enchanted journey. What a cute description. It doesn't have a breakdown of the shades or shifts or anything, but it looks like in here there's 6 metallics and shimmers, and then the rest are mattes. I love this color story. I love the depth in here, the jewel tones, and I'm sure there's some dual chrome shifty shades in here. They always include some really stunning metallics in their palettes. So that's basically the info about these two. I think we can jump into like the swatches now. So we'll start off with the face palette and then go into the eyeshadow palette. So we have Strand, Lemur, and Lagoon. Ooh, these feel very creamy. And there's those shades. Oh my god, look at that one. That definitely is like a multi-chrome highlighter. Then you have this kind of lavendery blue. And then this purple that looks like it has maybe some pink to it. Ooh, these are stunning. Oh my god, look at this highlighter. There's definitely like green, pink, maybe peach to it. Then this one is like a lavender blue, maybe like a dual chrome highlighter. And then there's this more like saturated purple that definitely has like a pinky kind of fuchsia shift to it. Now we can swatch the blushes. So we have Temptress, Neptune, and Seashell. And there's those 3. Ooh, look at that pigmentation. So we have this beautiful pink, kind of cool tone moment. And then there's this beautiful like lavender color, and then this like kind of salmon color is how I would describe this one. They swatch beautiful and they feel nice. So many pretty options. I love it that it's a little heavy purple, but you got a pink moment, a salmon moment, and a beautiful like multi-chrome highlighter. It's so pretty. Now we can get into swatching the Call of Siren palette. And we'll start off with the top row. So we have Spellcaster, Unicorn, Sea Nymph, and there's those 3 beauties. So this one looks like a golden to green, like yellow to green. Oh, I love that. It's like a limey moment. Then here is this purple matte, and then this teal matte. Oh, look at that. That was so pigmented. And then we have Lorelei, something like that. And then Marjorie. It's got like a unicorn on it. And there's those. This one definitely looks like might have like a shift. And we got that. Oh yeah, this one has like a grayish base. Like something going on to the base of that. Maybe like a even purplish gray to it. And then let me build this one up. This is like a kind of grayish muted green. Then we'll switch to this second row. So we have Fairy, Moonlight, and Bewitched. Ooh, this is so creamy. And there's those 3. So we have like a light pinky shade right there. And then we've got this beautiful, like, lighter teal. And then this, like, orangey metallic shimmer. Ooh, that's so creamy. And there's those three. And then the last two is Undersea and Starfish. And there's those two. Ooh, look at that Undersea shade. Wow. So we'll get that here. Ooh, it is such a saturated blue metallic. Ooh, that is so pretty. And then there's deeper purple. That one is really beautiful. It's super saturated. And then the bottom row, we have Elixir of Life. This one, I feel like might be a holochrome. Seahorse. And then Femme. And there's those. Some slight staining on the fingers and other shades. So yeah, this one looks like could be a holochrome. Oh yeah, look at all the multicolored shimmers. It's like a pinky lavender to it. And then we have this like kind of warm brown. And then this deep kind of black and purple matte. Then we'll do the last two. We have Serene and Lagoon. Ooh, that one's super flaky. It's coppery, but I feel like there might be some pink to that. And we'll swatch it right here. So we have Serene. Oh yeah, there's definitely like some kind of pinky shift or something going on with that one. And then this deeper teal matte. So that's the last row. So pretty. You can even do like a nudie-ass kind of look with this palette. So let me get them all swatched out together and I'll be right back. Look at these gorgeous saturated jewel tones. We've got teals, purples, these sparkly metallics. Look at that. I just had to show you guys closer because they're just so pretty. I love the tones in here. You have lighter shades, deeper shades. I mean, you basically have everything you need to create completed looks, and I think it's a pretty versatile color story for a mermaid theme. You can go teal, purple, you can even do kind of a nudie copper look. I just love this, and the formula seems beautiful. The shimmers are stunning. I think this is the perfect color story for the theme. So that is all of the things all swatched together, the entire color story. Now let's jump into some comparisons for the eyeshadow palette. First thing I obviously wanted to compare to, or at least obvious to me, is the Lord palette from Blend Bunny, which is their like Siren, Ocean, Dark Water themed collection that they came out with. And I just wanted to show you guys how they compare. I feel like this one might have the most similarity, so it's on my hand right here. So on this side is the Gourmande Girls, on this side is the one from Blend Bunny, and there's a lot of similarities, right? The teals, the jewel tones, which typically are the theme for like mermaid themed palettes, and I was actually surprised. It looks really close. Well, I'm not surprised. I kind of expected it going in. What am I talking about? But I mean, if you guys just were curious on how close they are, especially in the mattes, not everything is exact. The shimmers are a bit different from Gourmande Girls. They're a little bit more smooth. Maybe not as flaky and as sparkly as the ones in the Gourmande Girls palette. Then this is the next palette I thought was similar. I looked at it closer and I was like, you know what? The Metamorph from Artitude Cosmetics really is giving me that vibe. And as I swatched them out, they're actually closer than I expected. So here it is. This is the Artitude side. This is the Gourmande Girls side. And you see it? Like, look at the mattes. Look at some of the shimmers. Very similar with some of the shifts, like especially these two right here. I just was like, wow, okay, it looks more alike now that they're swatched out. And it's funny like that. Sometimes a shadow looks different in the pan, but when you swatch it out, they'll look another way. And that's what happened with these. So we're going to get into this palette from Glamlite. This was a collab with the Lord of the Rings. It's their Middle Earth palette. So I just wanted to show you guys the packaging it came in. It's so beautiful. Definitely giving like collectors, you know, vibe with the box. And then inside, this is what it looks like. I think this is stunning. And then here is the palette. And if you guys did not know this, I am a huge fan of The Lord of the Rings. I watched all the movies, read all the books. I'm a big fangirl. I read The Hobbit too. So if you did not know that about me, I love The Lord of the Rings. And this goes for $38. It's in stock on their website. And I just think like the detail and everything on the packaging just fits the movies so well. And I love it. And the color story is stunning. So I'll show you guys inside. So there's some mirror. There's like the mountains here. And then here's the color story. It's soft and muted with pastels. And I think these colors just scream The Lord of the Rings. They did a good job with this one. And it says, discover the magic of the Middle Earth with our official license, The Lord of the Rings times Glamlite Middle Earth palette. This 20 color palette offers a stunning range of warm, earthy tones representing every corner of the iconic Middle Earth map itself. From the Shire to Mordor, each shade tells part of the journey, and it just features all these beautiful shades. So in here, there is 10 metallics and 10 matte. Anyways, I think we should get into the swatches. I'm gonna put this like this, and then I'll cover the mirror so we don't have a massive reflection. And we'll just do the swatches how I've been doing them. So we have Bilbo Baggins. We have the Shire, Rivendell, where the elves are. Oh my god, I'm such a nerd. And here are those 3 metallics. And I'll swatch that. This is like a, I don't know, like a dingy silver metallic. And then there's this like kind of minty moment. And we have this one that seems a little extra sparkly, but more sheer to the base. Kind of like a sparkly taupey champagne. Then we have Arwen and Galadriel. 2 elves. And this one's like a icy, pearly white. And then this is like a blue and magenta metallic. Right here. Oh, I swatched them backwards. This one's Arwen. There's a lot of pink to the base of that one. Next row is the matte. So we have Samwise. We have Merry and Pippin. 3 little hobbit friends. And then I have this one. It's like a midish to lightish kind of muted teal. And we have Merry. This one's like a very light green. And then we've got Pippin, which is like a warm brown matte. Then we have Evenstar and Gandalf the Grey. It just says Gandalf, but that was his whole title in the show. Okay, I'm gonna stop geeking out over here. But there's a beautiful like light periwinkle, and then this beautiful gray matte. Third row, we have Legolas, Frodo, the One Ring, and there's that. Oh, look at that blackened emerald shade. Wow. Okay, so Legolas is like a deep gray gunmetal metallic. Then Frodo is just a saturated blackened emerald, but there's sparkle to it. Oh, you create like a smoky green look with that. And then here is the One Ring, which is like a kind of goldenish, kind of light coppery. There's like an oranginess to that too. And then the last 2 is the Fellowship and Lothlorien. I probably said that, Lothlorien. And there's those 2. I have some slight staining on my fingers. And so the Fellowship, oh, it's a beautiful purple with some like pink shift to it. And then this beautiful blue metallic that's a little on the deeper side. And then the last row is Aragorn. Love Aragorn. Boromir and Gimli. And there's those earthy tones right there. So Aragorn. We have Boromir. It's the deep teal. This is like a grayish sage, this first one, and then Gimli, which is like a reddish brown. More red than anything on that one. And then the last two is Gollum, which is like a purpley gray, and then Sauron, which is those shades. And here's that for Gollum and Sauron, which is like just a black matte. These are swatching really beautifully, nice and saturated. And that's the very last row. So let me get all the swatches together. But look at these beautiful muted, earthy tones with some pastel moments, some depth, saturation. I love this. This is like an approachable palette for people that don't love color because it's more on the muted end. And I think it's beautiful, like these earthy greens. Then you got some blue, some periwinkle in there. You have deep nude shades. I mean, this is just a perfect color story for the Lord of the Rings theme. And I'm a big fan. If you guys can't tell, everything's swatched nicely as I expect from Glamlite. The shimmers are smooth, a bit sparkly, nice pigmented mattes. So I think we can now get into comparing these beauties to some things I have within my collection. So I thought to compare to the Lord of the Rings is the Musée palette from Cosmic Beauty. It's a muted kind of color story with some nudes thrown in, and I think maybe this matches up the best. So on the left hand side is the Cosmic Beauty, on the right hand side is Lord of the Rings. I mean, look at that. Wow, right? I mean, the shimmers are definitely not the same as the Glamlite. They're definitely, I would say, more shifty than the Glamlite ones, the ones from Cosmic Beauty, but I do feel like the mattes are on par. Some of them are pretty close, and some of them are a bit, different with the undertones, but I mean, I'm just shocked at how much they really match up. And then the other one, which is another Cosmic Beauty, is the Serenity palette. This one had like those pastel moments, so I compared them, but less matched up. So on this side is Cosmic Beauty Serenity, the Lord of the Rings. These are brighter poppy pastels, and then some of the shimmers did match up pretty well though, and a few of the deeper shades. So we're going to get into this beauty right here from Electrum Cosmetics. This is their Dark Winter palette. So I got this on pre-order. It took a while to get to me, but they did mention that it was going to be a long time frame before they actually got shipped out. So I was expecting that. This goes for $50. It is sold out on their website. I would suggest following their Instagram or signing up to be notified when things come available if you've been wanting something from them for a while. And then let me open the inside so I can show you guys. Look at this beauty. There is a mirror, and then look at these tones. Beautiful, dark, wintry tones. And it says in the description for this one, where shadow meets bloom, launched at the cusp of spring, this moody, mesmerizing palette defies the season with rich, muted hues. Think frostbitten plums, stormy blues, and dynamic deep forest greens. Embrace the chill even as the world begins to thaw. Has 10 buttery buildable mattes, 4 multichrome shades, and 1 holochrome shade in this beauty right here. So that's the info. I think we could get into the swatches now. So I'm going to start off with the top row and go from there. So there is Frostbite. Ignore my eyeshadows falling apart. Dreary and Cabin. And this is what they look like. I love the first Electrum palette I've tried. I would say that their mattes don't necessarily swatch the best. They're definitely on the buildable end, but they perform beautiful on the eyes. And then here's the minty one. And I mean, these feel very buttery. But I would say don't, judge a palette by their swatches. It really matters on how they perform on the eyes. And that's why I bought this palette, because I love the first one so much. So, and then the last two shades. We have Darkness and Mist. There's those. They feel the same as the other three. So we have a cool tone purple. And then we have this blue. Just see they're just more buildable on the mattes. Now let's get into the shimmers, the part I love, I think, the most from Electrum. So we have Winter Winds, Gray All Day, Crisp, and oh my god, look at these. Look at these shimmers. They're so intense. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, look at this beautiful, like, baby blue with a pink shift. That is intense. And then here's this beautiful green. Let me build that up a little bit more. Oh my god, they just swatch like a dream. And then this one, you can definitely see that there's like a golden shift to this. Look at these beautiful shimmers. And then the last two shimmers is Winter and is it Ira? And there's those. Oh, this is definitely the holochrome. But these are beautiful. So we have Winter. This one has like a gray to like red sparkle to that. And then this beautiful holochrome. Look at that. Now we'll get into the last row of mattes. Let me zoom out a little further. And we have, is it Neves? This one feels a little scratchy. We have Scotty and Arctic. Okay, there's those three shades. And I'm gonna flip to here. So this one, ooh, it's swatching nicely though. It does just have a drier feel to it. And then this one right here is a beautiful green. And then there's this like teal color. Just trying to build it up. And then the very last two shades is Frosty and Dark Winter. Another dark blue, and that one felt dry too. And there's those on my finger. And then we'll get that swatched right here. So we have this brown frosty shade. I'll build up some more. And then we have this other dark blue that kind of maybe leans a little bit more like a really deep teal. There's more green to it. So let me get all the swatches together and I will be right back. Look how beautiful this color story is. I love these muted tones and these shimmers. Like, look at that shift on those shimmers. They're so sparkly and beautiful and they glided on like butter. And then look at these beautiful mattes. We got a good amount of depth, some mid-tones, a good variation of wintry kind of tones. I really love this. I think they make beautiful color stories and they give you good options. They make beautiful shimmers. Their mattes are definitely, like I said, on the buildable end, but they're workable and they actually apply really nicely to the eyes. At least the other palette I tried from them did. I think that it was the Blood Moon palette and I fell in love with it. So I had to pick this one up when they came out with it. So let's get into comparisons with the winter palette, the Dark Winter palette. So the first one I thought of was the Poison Garden palette from Beaute Bar because it has like muted tones. It has like some greens, some purple, and some blues. Let me cover the mirror up real quick. And so I was like, let me see. And actually there was some similarities, but not as close as I thought I could get them to be. On this side is Beaute Bar, on this side is the Electrum palette. I feel like the mattes match up pretty good, and then these shimmers did too as well, but not that many. I thought there would be more matches. And then the other palette I thought of was the Gargoyle palette right here, because this one also has like muted tones, like wintry vibes. Let me cover the mirror. And has, you know, greens, blues, and a bit of purple. Well, just like a pop of purple here. And so I compared those two, and not exactly either. The mattes, pretty close,
and only a few of the shimmers. I don't know why I was thinking maybe there would be more. And I think because it lacks some of these other blues, there was only this one that kind of matched up to that, didn't have that green, and it only has one purple. The palette that actually surprised me the most, and it was like a last minute thought to compare, was the Metamorph palette from Artitude Cosmetics. And I was like, well, maybe it will, because it has, like, you know, blues and stuff in it. And here are the swatches. I was able to get a good amount of the shades, the mattes, some of the shimmers, not exact, but like this one, this one, this one, even these ones kind of came close. So I was actually surprised by this one the most. Now let's get into this palette from Adept Cosmetics. This is their new Emo palette. This one goes for $75. It's currently out of stock on their website. Not sure when they'll be restocking this, but if you do end up like purchasing this or ever something from their site, I do have a code. It is Breezy Beauty. It will save you like 10% off. It is affiliated, but I just wanted to mention that because it took me a while to get them to give me a code. But let's get into this beauty. So it's simple plastic packaging. It's giving like Natasha Denona vibes. I've already dirtied the packaging, but is anybody surprised? And then there is a mirror, and then inside here are the beautiful shades. It's a gorgeous little muted color story, and based on the description and everything on their website, it says it's a magnetic palette with holes in the back so you can easily pop out the shades. This palette contains extremely sparkly, very high pearl shimmers, including 2 multichromes, 3 holochromes, 2 dual chromes, and 2 multi-dimensional shimmers, all of which consist of various textures, and there are 6 buildable and blendable matte shades included to complement the look, or your look, and the new formula is thinner and more elegant than our older palettes from last year. It's similar to what is in the Minka palette from this year. It also says, please note that these eyeshadows may appear to be glitter, however, they're 100% glitter free, and note that shades Seafoam, and right here, this one, and the shade Backdraft, this one, are shades that were in the discontinued House of Ale palette, but the formula has been updated to appear differently in the pan, but will look similar on the eyes. That's what it says in the description, so that's a good thing to know. And it's vegan and all that good stuff, so I think we should get into the swatching of this beauty. So we have the shade Whisper, Grable, and Allure. And there is the shimmers and that beautiful matte. Ooh, that one looks really shifty right there. So this one's kind of an icy metallic, but very sparkly. Then there's this beautiful grayish lavender. And then this stunning, like kind of smooth looking shifty shade that has definitely a green shift, maybe some gold going on, maybe some pink or red, something like that. And then the last 2 shades we have here is Pear and Seafoam. This is the one they said was also in the House of Ale just now in their updated formula. Look at that, some minty goodness. So here's Pear. Ooh, that's swatched beautifully. And then here is that Seafoam. Beautiful sparkly mint. Ooh, so pretty. And let's switch to the second row. We have Coral Dust. My nails are matching the palette. I just painted my nails today. Then we have Storm and MC1. And oh, look at those shades. This looks like a holochrome. This looks like it could be a holochrome. And then I'm going to swatch right here. Look at this. It's like a gunmetal gray. It's so saturated, but there's a lot of sparkle in it. And then there is this dusty, muted blue matte. And then we got this beautiful shimmer or like a holochrome that also looks like it has some green to it, like green to pink shift. And then the last 2 shades we have is Dormant and Deep Abyss. And there's those shades on the finger. And we have Dormant, which is another beautiful sparkly shade that looks like it has pink and green shift to that as well. And then here's this dormant shade, which this one looks more like a deep charcoal than like a deep black shade. So I'm swatching it. And then the last row we have Light Touch, another hollow, Gold Rush. And there's those beauties. So let's swatch right here. So it's a light pink. Oh my god, this shifty hollow shade. It's like purple to green, tons of sparkle in it. I'm gonna build it up. There's probably like turquoise as well to the shift. And then there is this beautiful like antique gold shimmer. And then the last two shades we have Black and Brown and Backdraft. And there's those two. This one feels really creamy. So this is like a dark brown, a beautiful shifty shade. So there's Black and Brown. Oh, that matches the name perfectly. Just a very dark, like cool toned brown. I'm just trying to build it up a bit for you guys. And then this last one. Oh, this is so creamy. And it has like a really strong pink and fiery shift to that one. There's just so many beautiful metallics in here. So here are all the swatches together. Look at how beautiful these swatches are. They're so pretty. I love these muted tones and the beautiful metallics and the holochrome moments. Like, oh, I'm a sucker for a holochrome and sparkly shades. And I think the mattes pair really beautifully with these shimmers. Like they included some nice shades, some deepening shades, and some lighter mattes. And the formula seems really nice in the matte formula as well. Like nice and pigmented and easy to swatch. Oh, I really like this one. It's so pretty. So that's all of them together. Now let me go and grab some things to compare to this beauty. So I'm going to start off with the Gargoyle palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. Same like muted kind of wintry cool tones in both of them with the greens, blues, a little bit of nude, a little bit of grayish tones. And so I actually swatched them out right here just so you guys can see. On this side is the Unearthly palette. On this side is the Adept palette. And there was quite a bit of things that I was able to match up, even with the shimmers. Not these dark shimmers, but like these ones right here, these. I mean, all the other shimmers look quite similar even to how they shift. It also brought me to this one right here from Artitude Cosmetics, the Ink and Roses palette. Another one that has like muted tones. There's some pink in here, like the little minty moment, some grayish tones. So I was like, I need to also compare these. So I have it right here on the top of my hand here. And on this side is the one from Artitude Cosmetics, and on this side is the Adept one. Now the shimmers are not necessarily the same. They don't really have any holochromes in the Artitude one, and not as shifty as these, but the mattes too kind of had some vibes together. The green here is not the same. This is like a, you know, black shade or charcoal, but just in a similar family. And that brings me also to another newer palette from this year, the Lovers palette from Cosmic Beauty. Another one with some muted tones, slightly different greens. Let me put it this way. I think it would be easier. And you see like it has the pinky, the greens, some nudie tones, a mint, you know, sagey moment. And I actually have it right here on my arm. So on this side is Cosmic Beauty, and on this side is the Adept palette. And you can see like with the mattes and then with some of the shimmers. And then the last one is this one from Gourmande Girls. I thought of this right at the last minute. It's the Frozen Kiss palette. This one also came out this year. So like I'm telling y'all, this was a trend for brands to come out with these types of color stories. And I actually have them swatched out right here just to show you guys like what I tried to compare. You see with the mattes and even with some of the shimmers. And I just paired mattes next to these shimmers over here just as a comparison thing, but a good amount too had some similar vibes to them, and
with this having like holochromes and stuff as well in it. Now we are getting into this beauty right here from Beaute Bar, the Green Goddess palette. Of course, I had to pick this up. It's a green themed color story. And this one right here is in stock on their website as I'm filming this, and it goes for $72. I do have a code, Breezy Beauty, with them to save you some money off. It is affiliated. Now let me show you guys the inside. There is a mirror, and then here are the beautiful tones. Look at this gorgeous greeny color story, but there are some nudie shades, some pinky tones, and in the description it says there's 15 magnetic pan shadows in here. There's 8 buttery mattes and 7 unique multi-chrome shimmers. So all of the shimmers are shifty and multi-chrome and sparkly, and I cannot wait to swatch this beauty right here. And that's basically the info. Easy peasy. So we can just jump right into the swatches. There's Balance, Growth, Earth Mother. Well, that one's really creamy. I have sparkle all over my body, by the way, from doing these swatches. And we'll go right here. Ooh, this one's kind of sheer. Let me try to pick this up a little bit more. There's like more of a sheer base to it. It's very smooth. Then there is this like light, warm kind of pink. And then there's this beautiful creamy shade. Look at that. It's like a really minty, super sparkly metallic. In the last 2 shades, we have Tranquil and Renewal. And there's those 2 on the finger. So we have this like pastel minty shade. Build it up a little bit more. And then this beautiful shifty shade that looks like there's like blue, the pink to the shift on that one. Switch over to this row. We have Wisdom, Femininity, and Lush. That one feels on the smoother side too. And there's those 3. So we have this like cool toned mid-tone brown. Ignore the shimmers all over my hand. And then there's this like kind of salmon colored matte. And then this beautiful shifty metallic that is very creamy. There's definitely like some pink, maybe some green going on into that one. And then the last 2 shades is Nourish and Demeter. And there's those 2. My nails also match the theme of this palette. So we have this kind of like mid-tone sagey kind of shade. And then this one right here that I kind of picked up too much of the shadow. And it's a beautiful like forest green color. So there's that second row. And then we have this bottom row. We have Goddess, Enchant. Ooh, this one is really sparkly. And Rebirth. And there's those 3 shades. So a deep cool tone brown. It's not sparkly, just my skin right now. Then there's this like pinky gold, very sparkly metallic. And then this kind of warm grassy green shade. Or maybe it's more like an olive. And there's that one. And then the last 2 we have is Fertility. And I think it says Tefiti. I don't know if I'm reading that wrong. And there's those. I'm loving these kind of shades. And look at this like mint, maybe to gold. And look at that right there. Oh, I swatched it backwards. So this very saturated like charcoal metallic. And then this like minty aqua shifty shade to like gold. Wow, the shift is strong on that one too. So here is the swatches all together. Look at how pretty this is with like the muted greens and then these really beautiful sunny sparkly shades. It's so pretty. I love this, but it's not like only green because there was some like browns thrown in and then like that salmon moment, that pinky moment. So you can kind of switch it up a bit. I just really like this. I love the Green Goddess theme. I love these like really creamy metallics. Some are just so shifty and sparkly and Bella Beaute Bar always does like these really amazing color stories, always gives you like depth, mid-tone, and lighter shades to work with, and just various shimmer formulas. So that's basically all of the beautiful swatches. And now let's compare to some other palettes. I'm gonna compare it to the Adept palette that I need to wipe out because I have so much prints on it from swatching, but this one was a little bit more closer, so I did swatch it out. This is the Emo palette, and on this side is the Adept, on this side is the Green Goddess palette, and there is similarities, especially with the shimmers, some of the mattes, so I just wanted to show you that. And then the next palette I thought of was the Gargoyle palette, and this one too, you know, with the same kind of muted vibes. This one doesn't really have these kind of greens in it, but it has the nudie tones, it has beautiful like shifty shades, and I compared them right here. So on this side is the one from Unearthly, this side is the one from Bella Beaute Bar, the Green Goddess one, and there's similarities amongst these. Not exact, you know, because it doesn't have as much green matte as the Green Goddess one. Then the next palette I thought of was the Sorcerer Smoke palette from Unearthly. This one's a little bit more grungy, I would say, but it has like a salmon color, some greens, some browns, some beautiful like sparkly shifty shades, and I swatched them out right here. On the left side is the Sorcerer Smoke, on this side is the Green Goddess. And you see, I mean, like with these brownie tones, then I got a salmon moment. You can just see the greens are a bit different. The shimmers are not necessarily like totally aligning, but kind of like similar shifts. And then the last one I wanted to compare to is the Lovers palette as well from Cosmic Beauty. And this one, it has like, you know, the same kind of idea with the tones, and I compared it right up here. So on this side is the Green Goddess, on this side is the one from Cosmic Beauty. So you see we got the pinks, the greens, a minty moment. These are two different greens though. This is more of a brown than that like salmon color. And then the shimmers, not exact, but kind of giving, you know, like similar shifts to them. So that's another one. Now we're going to get into this super adorable collection from Lethal Cosmetics. This was their collab with Adventure Time. I picked up a bunch of goodies. The collection is quite big, and I am going to let y'all know I did have to pay like customs and duties to get these items because Lethal Cosmetics is based in Germany. So it's pretty pricey. They do give you a discount off the custom and duties to like alleviate some of that cost, but it was pricey. I'm just gonna warn you. And they do also sell this on Camera Ready Cosmetics, but it looks like they've raised the prices on the products to accommodate the customs and duties that they had to pay to receive it. So let's get into the one accessory kind of product before I get into the blushes. So this little one right here, this cutie patootie, is the Bemo Pocket Mirror. Oh my gosh, so they make him looking happy and then angry, happy. I love that. And it has like little actual like rubber buttons on it, and then inside there's a little mirror. I just thought that was so cute. I'm totally gonna put this in my purse. I had to have it. This one went for $13 according to the Lethal website. And then I picked up all the blushes that are in this collection. They're all like creams. One is like a balm, and then the other ones are like cream to powder feeling blushes. Now you could get all the blushes in a bundle for $86. The first one I picked up here is called Flame Princess Blush. Now all of these were $17, by the way. It's this beautiful little orange one, and it's like feels very similar to the like matte cream blushes or the Super Shocks from ColourPop. And this is the little container it came in. Super cute. And then this one right here is the Lumpy Space Princess Blush. It's a beautiful lavender in that cream to powder. And then here is the packaging. And then there was the Princess Bubblegum shade. Look at this bubblegum pink. The perfect shade. I love the container it came in. And then there was the, I said they were all blushes. One's a highlighter. Here's the last blush though. And this one is balmy. So this one's a balm and sheeny and like dewy
It looks black, but it kind of is like a maroon color. You'll see swatches in a bit. And then this is the outer packaging. This is the Marceline shade. And like I said, the last one is a highlighter, not a blush. So 4 blushes, 1 highlighter in the collection. And this is the Lady Rainicorn highlighter. And it has little like rainbow stripes in here of different colors. And this is a rainbow highlighter made up of Lady's color in a beautiful iridescent color shifting shimmer. And this one went for $23, so a little bit more expensive than the blushes, but it's so adorable. And like you said, here's the outer packaging. And then we're going to get into the eyeshadow palette. So here it is, the Adventure Time Candy Kingdom eyeshadow palette. It has like a kind of squishy packaging on it. And this eyeshadow palette goes for $59 on their website, not including these custom fees that I told you guys about. Here is the back of it, and it's so cute. It's like so fun and like springy, and makes me happy just looking at it. And it has a mirror with like design and the characters around it. And then here is the colors. It's a beautiful springy kind of pastel color scheme in here, and it says this is a 24 pan eyeshadow palette inspired by the lively and colorful Candy Kingdom of Adventure Time. Features a great variety of pastels, highly pigmented colorful mattes, and stunning dual and trichrome shimmers are in this gorgeousness right here. So we're going to start off with the Lumpy Space Princess, the beautiful like lavender, and I'm going to swatch that. You guys can see it just like kind of like a putty moment here. And it just feels just like the Super Shock ones from ColourPop. So there's that beautiful like lavender moment. And then we have the Princess Bubblegum Blush, which is that bubblegum color. Perfect for her. Like the 2 shades are perfect for the characters that they're inspired by. And there's the bubblegum one. These look like they can be buildable, but I just love the bouncy texture of these blushes. And then this one right here is the Flame Princess blush, and this one's a beautiful like Cheeto orange. I guess you guys can tell, right? It kind of moves around, and it's just really putty like. Just really had to swatch that one up. I love a Cheeto blush. Like I love all these different blush shades. That one has a little bit more pigmentation to it. And then the one that's different is this one, the Marceline cream blush. And this one is the one that is like a balm. So you see as I'm going in it, it just starts to melt. And I'm assuming that this would just be more of like a dewy finish. Looks black in the pan. But as you put it on, it kind of has like a I don't know, like a maroony purple kind of vibe to it. I'm not sure how it's actually going to look on the cheeks, but there's that one. Just kind of trying to blend it out so you guys can see how it looks. And then the highlighter, this beautiful little Lady Rainicorn highlighter. I have shimmers everywhere. I'm going to swatch it like this. You guys can see it's like a little stripe pan. And it's a rainbow highlighter. I'm going to swatch it this way so you can see how it like does different colors. And then I'll swatch it all together so you guys can see how it'll swatch if you kind of like mix it. But look at that. Isn't it magnificent? So I'm going to start off with the first row. We've got Mother Gum and Lake Butterscotch and Timmy. And there's the shades on my finger. So pretty. Look at that shade. And then we've got this beautiful metallic. It's so creamy. And the matte is beautiful. And then there's this like lighter pink matte that has like little sparkles in it. Then we have Candy Castle, Pup Gang, and Ice Cream Guy. And there's those 3. This is so cute. They picked the best colors. So here's Candy Castle. It's like a yellow to blue dual chrome. Then we have this beautiful pastel
blue matte. And then this beautiful, like, bluish gray shade that maybe there's like, oh yeah, there's a green to it. And then we're going to get into the second. We have Marshmallow Kids, Nettie, and James the second. And there's those. I love me a matte white shade. And look how pigmented that is. They have like upped their formula in so many ways. I love it. And then there's this beautiful peachy to like pink. There's like a fiery shift to it. So pretty. And then this like kind of like pastel-y peachy shade. Like a nudie peach. And then we have a Soko, Candy Elemental, and Cinnabon. And there's those three. So this is like a warm kind of brown. And this is like a magenta to like blue kind of metallic. They're just so extra sparkly. And then we have, oh, so I swatched this all out of order in the Soko shade. This beautiful pastel-y like green. Then the next row we have is Science, Jelly Horse, and Mr. Cupcake. And there's those right there. Swatch it right here. We have a orange, like a Cheeto orange. We have this beautiful, like warm purple matte. And then this, oh my god, look at this metallic. There's definitely probably like aqua, green, and blue. It's very vibrant. And then the next shades, we've got Cotton Candy, Gumball Guardian, and then Lemon Grab. It's a beautiful limey green. So we have Cotton Candy, Forest. We've got Gumball Guardian. And then this beautiful limey green metallic. And then the very last row, we have Banana Guard, a very like neon-y yellow, Candy Cane Guy, and Royal Tart. And there's those shades. So we got the neon-y moment right here. I love this. This would make such a beautiful inner corner highlight moment. Then we have this like minty green, but I think it has like maybe blue or like a pinky shift to it. And then this like kind of vibrant pinky shade. Last three shades is Blueberry Cops, Gumdrop, and Peppermint Butler. And those shades are right here. So here is Blueberry Cops, the Gumdrop, it's like a periwinkle blue to pink, and then this like deep blue matte. And there is the last row. So here are all the swatches swatched out, and I struggled to fit this all on my arm, but I really wanted to have all the colors together. And look how beautiful and colorful this is. It's so springy and summery and fun and bright. And it's just such a fun, happy kind of color story. I just love it with the pastels, but you do have some deepening shades, some mid-tones, and all these beautiful sparkly shimmers. Like, look at these shimmers. I'm showing you guys up close so you guys can see. And then like really pigmented pastels and lighter shimmers that can be inner corner highlights. You could just have so much fun with this kind of rainbow pastel color story. So now for comparisons, and I've got three things to show you. Of course, I had to show you guys it next to the Sickly Sweet palette from Blend Bunny, because of course this is my favorite pastel palette. This might become my second favorite pastel palette, but I did compare them up here, and there they are. So on this side is the Sickly Sweet from Blend Bunny. This side is the Adventure Time one from Lethal, and look at that. Shimmers are not exactly the same kind of shifts or tones, but I think the mattes really match up well besides just like blues right here. But all the other ones are surprisingly quite close. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe the Ice Cream Dream palette, since it's like, you know, ice cream themed and candy themed and stuff, like the Adventure Time palette. And I have that comparison right here. Another one that comes pretty close. I mean, the shimmers are definitely not the same like the ones from Lethal. They're definitely more satiny in the Glamlite one, which the Glamlite's on this side. But I mean, the mattes are probably where it's really at in terms of having a lot of similarities. And then the last thing I thought to compare to is the Delicious Delights palette from Cosmic Beauty. There it is. See it? You see it? Yes, there is a lot of similarities amongst this one as well. Now, they're somewhat different tones. It's not exactly the same, but let me show you guys the swatches. I'll come around here and you'll see. On the left side is the Cosmic Beauty. On this side is the one from Lethal. In the mattes, I think there's some good matches up. Like, look at the matte white. You got like a neon yellow, a minty green, a periwinkle, some blues, purples, pinky tones. And these shimmers, well, all the shimmers that I actually swatched out on both kind of have a lot of similarities. Now we're going to get into this most recent release from Bella Beaute Bar. This is the Ocean Jewel palette. Stunning packaging. I love it. It's like all shifty and stuff. But this one goes for $75 and it's currently in stock on their website when I'm filming this. And I just love this like ocean theme. I'm assuming this is like their summertime release. And then let me show you guys the beauty within. Look at this color story. So it has a good amount of like jewel tones, but it's a mix of purples, blues, and greens. There's a little bit of a nudie touch in there. But this one has 20 magnetic pans. And there is 7 multi-chrome shimmers, including 1 hollow chrome, 1 dual chrome shimmer, 11 buttery mattes, and 1 sequence matte. And it has a description that says inspired by the abalone shell and the overall beauty of what lives within the ocean. And I love that. And it's a pressed pigment palette for face and eyes. And that's basically the gist of this beauty right here. We shall start off with the first row of like bluey tones. So we have Heart of the Ocean. This one feels very satiny. Submerged. And Jellyfish, which is the sequence matte. And here are those. Oh, look at this multi-chrome. It's very dark and grungy. And I'm going to swatch it right up here. So this is one of those like smooth black base, like kind of multi-chrome. Or maybe this is a dual chrome. It's stunning. It's saturated. And then there's this very like cool toned. Well, I mean, most blues are cool tone, right? But nice, beautiful, deep blue. And then there's this blue right here with the shimmer in it. And then the last 2 shades are Shipwreck, more like a deep teal, and Conch, which is a very like cool toned grayish shade. And so we have deeper teal, and then we have Conch, very, very grayish, like purple. Now we're gonna get into the second row. So we have what is called quahog. I looked up this word. It is a type of hard-shelled clam. And then we have Colorful Moon. And then we have this one called, I believe it's pronounced nacre. I also looked it up. And it's also the word for, I believe, mother of pearl, from what I remember. I had to look these words up because I was like, what are these? So there's the shades. And then there's this beautiful blue, purple. It's swatching really nicely. Then we have, oh my god, look at this shifty one. It's a really strong, like kind of reddish, pinky base with like blue sparkle.
And then look at this one. Oh, this one's a smoother one. And I'm sure this is like a blue to purple shift. And then the last two shades are Shark's Eye. This one feels nice and smooth. And Tortoise. And there's those two shades. So I'll swatch that right here. So this has like a deeper base to it. This is like a bluish teal kind of metallic. So now we're getting into this third row. We have Abalone. This one's really flaky. Then we have Fleur de la Mar, and I actually looked this up because I had to. It means flower of the sea in Portuguese, and it refers to a legendary 16th century Portuguese ship that was said to be carrying one of the largest treasures ever lost at sea. Ooh. And then we have Sunken Treasure. I'm loving the names. And there's those shades right here. And I'll just watch right here. So this is very creamy, very flaky, very like pink and blue to this. Oh, that's beautiful. And then we have this gorgeous purple. And we have this beautiful like lighter aqua. And then we have Nautilus and Mother of Pearl. And there's those shades. Oh my god, these metallics are stunning in this palette. So this one is like teal aqua to like blue. Oh, it's so pretty. I mean, and there's like green sparkles in that. And then here's Mother of Pearl. It's a beautiful kind of deeper silver base. This one, is this the holochrome? It looks like it. It's so sparkly and pretty. Then we're going to do the last row. We have Starfish. It's like a periwinkle. Then Oyster. It's like a periwinkle metallic. And then Sea Glass. It's like an aqua pastel shade. They're so buttery feeling. And look at that right there. Who doesn't love a periwinkle shade? Who doesn't love a periwinkle metallic? Oh, look at that. And there's like pink going through that one. And then this like pastel aqua color. Ooh, that would make such a beautiful inner corner highlight shade. And then the last two shades, we have Luminescence and Sundial. These two beautiful like neon-y tones. I love it. Also will be so beautiful in the inner corner. And so we have Luminescence. Look at that. Oh my god, that swatched so well for like a neon kind of shade. And then we have the Sundial. I'm gonna build that up a little bit more. And there is the last row of some lighter tones. So let me swatch them all out together and I will be right back. Look how beautiful this color story is. We have even pastels, neons, a lot of deep saturated tones, jewel tones. I just love it. You have a good contrast. And you're just going to be able to make the most beautiful, like, cool tone looks and do pops of color in the inner corner. And look at these just, like, darker tones. I love this. And greens, purples, and blues are my favorite colors to wear. And they nailed it with this, like, sea jewel, ocean jewel themed palette. It's just so beautiful. If you like these kind of tones, it's all color, but it's all beautiful colors and my favorite colors to work with. And I love seeing it all swatched out together and just the variety of blues and purples and tones. I just really, really, really love this. First thing I want to compare this to is the Lore palette, which is also a ocean themed release from Blend Bunny. And I was able to get quite a few to kind of match up in color. The shimmers are different in this than this one. These are more flaky, more sparkly, more shifty. There's holochromes. This one is just very creamy shadows. So I actually have them all swatched out here on the bottom. So on this side right here is Blend Bunny. On this side is the Ocean Jewel palette. And you see, like, look at that. Surprisingly, I was able to get a good amount of colors to kind of match up, especially with the mattes, but I knew that's where they were going to match up the most, is where the mattes are at. And then I thought of the Don't Be Jelly palette, because this one is also ocean themed, and this one is just like a smaller, I feel, condensed version of it, and I actually swatched it out right here on the top here. So on this side is Unearthly, on this side is the Ocean Jewel. And I was able to get, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10 shades to kind of match up a bit. These are a bit different when it comes to the shimmers, but kind of same idea. And then, you know, there's differences between these blues and these lighter shades. And then the other palette I thought of was the Cyborg Choir palette. Now, this is not an ocean themed one, but I immediately thought of it because this one has those like purples, it has a yellow pop, and then these beautiful shifty shades. There's a lot of holochromes in this one, a lot of sparkle, so they definitely do match up in terms of like the shimmers and even the matte. So I actually have it right here on the top, and you see like the matte's not exact, but kind of the same idea. By the way, this is Ocean Jewel, this is the Adept palette. But the shimmers, like, they're on par with one another in terms of intensity, sparkle, holochrome effect. I mean, these aren't the same. These aren't the same. They're not necessarily the same kind of shifts going on with them, but the texture, the sparkliness is on par with one another. So that was everything for this comparison. And now I can take you guys back to my face so we can wrap up this video. Welcome back to my face, and I did not lie. This video was quite long. It was a lot to go over, but I do hope you guys enjoyed it. But you will now have to let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments below? Did you purchase or pass on any of these things? Like, what are your thoughts? I would just love to hear from all y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot of indie makeup and all that good stuff, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the products linked that I shared with you guys today. I will have other videos of mine that you might be interested in watching, as well as the makeup that I'm wearing. In case you're ever curious, I always have this linked. And I will also have my contact and my social media platforms linked. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, for supporting my channel, being amazing. I just appreciate you guys all so much, and I hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.